good. We got audio. You see the levels? Everything okay? All right. Super wildcard weekend happened this weekend, and kind of history also happened this week. It was one of the craziest news weeks in the NFL. A bunch of guys got fired, a bunch of guys retired, but the only news that really matters is that probably the greatest head coach of all time got fired, and so Bill Belichick will no longer be a part of the Patriots organization. So what the hell does this mean for the head coaching landscape? What does it mean for the NFL? Who knows? I have no idea. But let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Eric, what the hell?
What's up?
I don't think you've ever seen an NFL game when Bill Belichick wasn't the head coach of the New England Patriots. Have you?
No, I think...
I mean, the era that Bill Belichick wasn't the head coach of the
When did
Patriots.
he start? Like 2000?
I don't know. Probably before that.
I mean, I don't remember. I would have been 4, so yeah, probably.
Okay. So I'm not even gonna look it up because
Yeah.
you didn't. You barely started caring about the NFL.
Honestly, the first game I remember watching is the playoff game where we lost to the Patriots.
Oh, well, there you
at,
go.
San Diego.
That's a fun memory. So you're pretty happy that he got fired then.
Yeah, my feelings towards the Chargers have been bitter since the very beginning.
Yeah, but Mob Nasty, thank you for joining us. Saludos, homie, and much love to Eric. So there you go.
Hey.
It's been an interesting week. It was a kind of crappy games, to be honest, over the weekend, but it's painting to be a pretty interesting divisional round. Hopefully, there were a few shockers, then not so much. But before we get into the playoff talk, let's get into the coaching tracker, right? So first off, we need to talk about the most important news story: Bill Belichick leaving the New England Patriots.
Well, I think we kind of got to go over the games because before this weekend, I would have said Bill Belichick, maybe to the Chargers is a good option, or there's plays, every place is popping up, but the main place right now, Dallas.
All right, so you want to go through the games, then go through the coaching tracker, and then make our predictions?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, so let's do this real quick. So this is how...
I just want to make fun of the Cowboys now.
All right, fine. So let's go into the playoffs. Let's start off with Texans versus the Browns. Texans whooping the Browns. Whooping. That boy CJ Stroud.
He's the truth.
He good. Dude, that's one of the most impressive displays I've seen by a not only a rookie quarterback, but a rookie head coach. Holy crap. It looked like DeMeco Ryans had been there before. The team was ready to go. The defense was hungry, and they embarrassed the number one defense in the league. Like the Browns, they had no answer for anything. So that's you know what? I need to apologize to the Texans. I was hot on the Texans. I said, next season, but probably a couple of years. Dude, they shut me up real quick. They turned this organization around quickly, and this is what shows you what getting a good head coach does. Because that organization was in the toilet. They also need to thank the Browns for giving them a whole bunch of first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson.
Ironic, isn't it?
They nailed their picks this year, and they turned that culture around. That team looked
like this was an ex-girlfriend game.
Yeah, I think most of them were. We'll go through that, but yeah, it's impressive to say the least. So DeMeco Ryans definitely needs to be in the conversation for head coach of the year, and the Browns sadly browned. So it sucked because the Joe Flacco story would have been super funny, especially him going into Baltimore. I'm pretty sure the Ravens would have been sweating bullets, but fortunately, did not happen.
So I was
thank you Texans. The Texans made me $40.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I was kind of hot on the Browns just because of the defense and, happy with Joe Flacco being there.
Mm-hmm. It's a great story.
But at the same time, I don't want Cleveland to be happy just for the Deshaun Watson story.
Okay.
I don't even care about, anything about it. The Cleveland fucked up the cute quarterback situation
the
forever.
Guaranteed money. Mm-hmm.
So fuck them.
Yeah.
And
they deserve to be punished.
And
punished they were.
Is CJ Stroud the what would you call him? The most broke quarterback in the playoffs right now?
You mean financially?
Probably, right? He just started it. He's a rookie.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I hadn't really considered that. How much did they? Well, Joe Flacco's no longer in there. I don't know, but maybe.
Maybe Jordan Love.
Maybe is he also on his rookie contract?
Yeah, he's still in the rookie.
Was he a first round? No, I think C.J. Stroud was drafted higher, so it's probably Jordan Love.
Well, he is a Texan, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But congratulations to the Texans. They honestly this weekend completely kind of changed my perspective on rookie QBs in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it shows you a head coach who's a culture changer. It's very important. DeMeco Ryans, hats off to you. But let's continue with probably the worst game of the entire weekend.
It's just boring.
The Chiefs versus the Miami Dolphins. So first off, fuck you, NFL, because they knew days ahead of time that this might be one of the coldest games ever. And they couldn't have switched it to the day game? Like, they couldn't have, not been dicks about it and be like, hey, sure, it might be a better primetime game, but we don't want people to die. So let's just maybe switch it to the afternoon game. Maybe. No. So fuck them. That annoyed me. Second, I was very, very disappointed by the showing of the Miami Dolphins. I thought they were going to win. When I heard that Mostert and Water were going to be back, I was like, dude, this is simple. All right? You just round the ball with probably the best running back in the AFC. It's so cold. Eventually, you're going to wear the Chiefs down. This is a very simple game plan. You start the game, throw a bomb at Tyreek Hill. So now the Chiefs are like, oh shit, we got to play it back. You got a whole bunch of room to run there with, again, probably the best running back in the AFC, and just keep switching it around that a little bit every once in a while, keeping the DVs back and running the ball. And when they start getting close, because to stop the run, you throw it over their heads. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Again, if I could think of that, what does that tell you? McDaniels did something very odd. They didn't play the way that the Dolphins normally play. They didn't play the way that you're supposed to play in the cold. So I think he kind of tried to outsmart himself by doing something that nobody expected, and it didn't work. Because again, it's the cold. And also, Tua was very disappointing. That dude can't play in the cold. And I get it. I hate the cold. I would probably suck too. But, I ain't getting paid millions of dollars, so.
To be honest, I don't think this was, you can shit on the Dolphins or whatever in the game plan, but it's an anomaly of a game. It's like the Ice Bowl, it's one of those things that's like, people never play under these conditions. So if the Dolphins and the Chiefs had played in a dome that was 70 that day, it's a completely different ball game. This is why home field advantage matters, again, especially in the playoffs, because it's in the winter.
The thing was the game plan. The game plan was not good on offense. This is weird.
Well, yeah, because why would you expect the Dolphins coach, the Miami coach, to know how to play in the fucking cold?
I thought that if the Dolphins lost, it was going to be because of the defense. But the defense was keeping him in it. So the offense is the one that underperformed massively. So, I don't know, whatever. Point is,
I wasn't
Chiefs
surprised.
win again, and I fucking hate it, but whatever. Let's continue. The biggest upset of the weekend.
This game was fucking funny.
The Green Bay Packers embarrassing the Dallas Cowboys. And I saw a stat, which is pretty hysterical. I think I saw that the Green Bay Packers have more victories in the playoffs in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do.
I think they're tied, but if you count I
think it's 2-1.
Well, no, because I think they won 3-3.
Oh,
but the Packers won the Super Bowl there.
Oh.
So I think that one goes if it counts.
I think so. I don't know, but the point is, ouch.
The point is that.
Ouch.
Also, I think there was another stat. I think since 2002, the Texans have more playoff wins than the Cowboys.
Oof. Brutal.
Yeah.
As I was watching this game, I was like, "There's no way they're not firing McCarthy. How do you keep McCarthy?" And I was I was texting with a group of friends, and I was like, "If Jerry Jones decides to keep McCarthy, he needs to get him a guy to manage the clock for him, because the dude does not know how to manage the clock at all. So if you get one guy who's like, this is the guy who's managing the clock, he's above you, all right? He's your boss. you suck at managing the clock. You're the worst ever. I'm getting you a guy just for that. Then maybe he might be a decent head coach. I don't know. To me, he's an offensive coordinator. But, dude, this was just embarrassing.
I'm not going to, like, defend McCarthy at all because how do you fucking defend that?
No.
But I will say this. Because I went on YouTube to I wanted to just see Stephen A. Smith's reaction to, because he fucking hates the Cowboys.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Uh-huh.
And I saw a little like community post. You know how there's some community posts on YouTube? There's like polls, and they were saying like, who is to blame for the Cowboys' loss? And it's like Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, and they're asking like, who was to blame? And honestly, I didn't think it was fair to single out anybody. This was the very definition of a team loss.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero of those motherfuckers came to play.
The defense wasn't there. Dak sucked. Time management sucked. I think even special teams sucked. Everybody sucked.
I think I told you this. I was like, was this the ultimate trap game? Like, ever?
I guess. First off, again, I apologize to Jordan Love. I apologize. I made fun of the kid. I thought he was dead. I thought he wasn't the truth. I thought they were going to draft somebody else. I thought that the Green Bay Packers were dead. So first off, kudos to LaFleur for managing that. It's a super young team. Again,
it's the youngest team in the NFL.
Another candidate for head coach of the year. But I remember seeing freaking Jordan Love one time when the early games, he gets the ball and he kind of turns around like this. He does the full turn. So he gives his back to the entire team, to the opposing team. I don't know what he was doing. But all right, he fucked up. He's learning. Yeah. And
also hope that was caught on the microphone.
This is the opposite of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, we saw the fastest decline I've ever seen in my life. With Jordan Love, it's the fastest, upgrade. Like the fastest upclimb. I don't know how you say it.
I mean, here's the thing. And this is the amazing.
We saw it during the season.
This is the amazing thing about the Packers. This was a rebuild year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
it was officially his first year as a starter. Aaron Rodgers was playing for them last year. So I think Jordan Love only played the COVID game for Rodgers for the Kansas City one.
Yeah.
So he had started before, but honestly, this was his first year as, you're the guy. We're building this team around you. You don't have weapons, basically. It's like we're just throwing everything out there. Their defense had been stinking it up. Their defense was crazy this game.
Yeah. And so
insane.
Right now, I don't want to face the Green Bay Packers.
I'm happy I picked them.
Yeah, that was a solid pick. Some might say smart.
I picked both of the Bays, and I honestly did it. I think this because I had to pick something, and I didn't want to pick the Steelers.
Yeah, it was a solid pick. By the way, Gus Becerra's like, which Ruco is worse at his job, Jerry at GM or Biden at press? Like, dude. Listen, I'm not blaming Jerry Jones for this. He did build an awesome team. This is all on the coaches. The coaches did not have the players ready to play.
But is Jerry Jones to blame for...
Jerry Jones is blamed for a lot.
Yeah, but the Cowboys have been not... it's hard to say a team that has been like 12-5. It's hard to say that they're bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for many years now, it's been like, oh yeah, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year. They just cannot have playoff success, and they have not had it in over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Going on 3.
Also, speaking of ex-girlfriends, Mike McCarthy helped the Green Bay Packers win another playoff game. So
in AT&T Stadium.
And also, we missed another one. Tyreek Hill lost. So all the exes are losing in the ex-girlfriend games. So.
And Deshaun Watson, too, although he wasn't there. But
yeah. But listen, right now, everything's working in Green Bay. So good for them.
They're cooking. I don't think they're getting past the 49ers.
It'll be difficult, but, to me, them just getting into the playoffs was a victory. Yeah, this is just next level.
And like they've said, the Packers are playing with house money.
Yeah.
Like they got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
They looked loose. Again, the Texans, they look very loose, and they're young teams, good head coaches, good on them.
Also, Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, I don't think they made any mistakes. I don't think they threw picks or nothing.
No, not that I remember.
Just a few touchdowns, good yards.
Some bullets out there. It's not like they were just running the ball or something. No, dude, some of the dimes that freaking Jordan Love and CJ Stroud threw, holy crap.
Throw it in a bucket.
And against some of the best defenses in the league. So again, the next generation of QBs is looking pretty good. And so to
Also,
me,
Aaron Jones is like goddamn monster.
yeah. So to me, the Cowboys should get rid of Dak, and they should get rid of McCarthy, especially this year. There's a lot of really good head coaches out there. So the rumor
I think
now,
McCarthy's gone. But
Yeah.
do you think they're getting rid of Dak?
why have they not? I think that the cap next year is like $60 million for him. I'd dump him quick.
Who do you got?
Anybody, literally.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's an upgrade. But yeah, the dude just can't play in the big moments. He just can't. And the stats for Dak in this game were phenomenal, and it was all garbage time after the game was already over. So, whatever. He's the king of garbage time.
Yeah, he was. The score of this game was way closer than it was.
And so
The real score was like 40-16.
yeah, and if the Cowboys get rid of Mike McCarthy, this immediately becomes the number 1 or number 2 most attractive head coaching job in the NFL.
Which
my
worries me as a Chargers fan, but
There's one advantage.
We'll get
There's
to
one advantage, and that's that the Cowboys have Jerry Jones. And I imagine having the owner of your boss talking shit about you on the radio. That's got to be infuriating. So not everybody's going to take that level of crap. So that's the one detractor that they have. That Jerry Jones does not shut the fuck up.
I agree, but also on the other side, your owner is Dean Spanos.
You know what? I'd rather have the dude who's quiet, than the guy who's publicly criticizing my work. That's your boss. Talk about a toxic work environment. And by the way, he says Gus Becerra's like Dak sucked so bad he deserves to be called Dakota.
Oh,
Ooh.
Jesus!
Next,
The best game.
the best and most infuriating game of the weekend: the Lions versus the Rams. And this is why it's infuriating. I'm sick and tired of the refs being a fucking storyline. Sick and tired of it. It's done. And the ref.
All right,
listen,
let's face it. That was a pass interference.
Dude, there was a roughing the passer where they nearly killed Stafford. In my humble opinion, because they hit him high.
When they stepped on his shoulder, right?
Yeah, when they nearly killed him. They had to, limp off the field. To me, it's like, dude, if that's not roughing the passer, I don't know what is.
We always knew the Detroit Lions were going to kill Stafford. We just didn't expect it to be this way.
It was brutal. Again, another ex-girlfriend game.
Yeah.
There was a
double ex-girlfriend.
the super low hit where they nearly took off Higbee's leg.
Oh God, it was
The
nasty.
triple pass interference on Nakua. It was wild. So I know there's a lot of people saying, well, it's divine justice because of what the Cowboys and the Lions. It's like, dude, nah.
Bad reffing is bad reffing. But
dude, you can't punish the freaking Rams for something that the Cowboys did. And you know what? The way that the Lions moved the ball on the last drive, it's possible they could have reached the field goal range, and they could have won it. Still, the end result could have been the same.
would have been less time.
Yeah, but it's just so infuriating that the refs keep ruining it. And also, bat clock management from Stafford and from McVay. That doesn't take away from everything that McVay accomplished this season. Again, I think he did a phenomenal job, but the Lions clearly were hungrier. They're desperate. They had Eminem out there, man. You can't beat him. It's impossible.
Also, why was he not smiling like ever?
I don't
What's his
think,
deal?
I think he's afraid to be happy.
Hey,
But-
they actually won.
But I this is really funny. I heard a thing that he was he talked to Matthew Stafford before the game. He's like, dude, I love you. I sang for you at the Super Bowl. You got to give us this. It's our time. You got to give this one to us.
I like
And
that.
so, honestly, there's a lot of people talking shit about Detroit people because, they're crappy human beings.
Yeah,
And
well.
their fans, whatever. And booing Matthew Stafford when he ran out on the field.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
The Patriots fan cheered Brady when he came back.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think they were booing the Rams in general. So it's just unfortunate that Stafford came out first. But I think they were just booing the team in general. Again, giving them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, poor Matthew Stafford. I don't think he ever wants to go back to Detroit, man. That's just brutal.
Yeah,
Brutal.
he's just gonna suffer being a multimillionaire in LA.
Yeah.
And apparently, honestly,
With a concussion.
hats off to goddamn McVay, dude. The fact that they made it to the playoffs, the fact we thought they were gonna stink because they
Dude.
ran out of money.
He almost freaking retired. They had no first round draft picks in forever, but they hit on every single draft pick. They coached them phenomenally.
Puka Nacua is a monster.
And they got him this year, a wide receiver that they got this year, who's doing doing great. It seems like there's only one wide receiver who didn't do good all season. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I mean, what's the name of the one we got?
Quentin Johnson.
He might have done good if he went to a better team.
All right, let me see. You guys know that Dakota is his actual legal name, right? That's
Really?
Really? No fucking way.
I mean,
No fucking way.
no. Let me see.
Dakota Press. Son of a bitch! No! What is that? Rain Dakota Prescott.
Rain Dakota Prescott. And he wrote it like Rain, like in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't, but
Okay. All right.
honestly, I think
Listen.
Rain would be cooler.
Listen, it's a name. Point is,
Rain is bringing the pain.
Yeah. Lions win. They move on to the divisional round, and the first time in forever. Congrats to them. Jared Goff, Ryan Gosling vibes from Remember the Titans. Ryan Gosling was a cornerback, right? I'm guessing you're saying how he looks. If you're telling me that Ryan Gosling could play Jared Goff, sure.
He could play me too.
Sure. All right. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills sort of surviving the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They were always pretty ahead. It was kind of boring.
But the Steelers played better than I expected.
Without
right?
TJ Watt, yeah.
Yeah. And so.
Did you see the presser with Mike Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin just walked away.
Yeah, they asked him like,
Are
so
you-
Mike, you have a 1 year left in your contract? The guy just walks away.
Yeah. So, good on him. That's honestly, the Steelers, again, another guy who's in the hot seat, but the Steelers should not get rid of Mike Tomlin. You can't get rid of a guy who's had a winning record always. What they need to do is get a new fucking GM and trade whatever you need to do to go up in the draft and get a QB. That's what they need. They need a good QB. Now, as much as I love watching bitch up out there, and he played fine, he's not the guy. And so maybe it's Mike Tomlin's fault for not being like for thinking that he can win with defense alone. It's not the same league, guy. You need to get with the times, get a better offensive coordinator.
Yeah, the offenses nowadays they're explosive as all hell, man.
Yeah, when McCarthy gets fired, hire him.
And not to mention, I think the reffing benefits offensive-minded coaches.
Yeah, of
because
course.
like if simply pass interference is like you're gonna get it for like just any random tug.
You hit the quarterback a millisecond, and they sometimes call it, sometimes not.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
so I understand being a defensive-minded coach. I like it.
I love
better
defense.
when it's that
I
way.
love defense, but that's
just not the league anymore.
Yeah, it's the reality on the ground. So you need
and
to.
if NFL wants the highlights, they want they want to put it on their video packages
It's
and
not
whatnot.
just the NFL. It's the fans.
Sure.
And so fans like offense. So unfortunately, you need to.
I don't think they should get rid of them,
No,
but they might.
it's a possibility. Next, the final game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
NFC East just didn't want to fucking show up this weekend, huh?
embarrassing the Philadelphia Eagles so bad that now Nick Sirianni's in the hot seat. Will he get fired? Nothing was working for Philadelphia. I will give a pass on the offense because Jalen Hurts, had a broken finger.
I will not. Do you see that fucking safety he took?
True. Yeah.
What the hell was it? What?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You walked like 20 feet back into the end zone, and then you still had the chance to throw the ball, and you did not. Well, you did, but
maybe nobody was open. I mean, AJ Brown wasn't playing.
Just get rid of the damn ball.
Listen, I agree.
I would have said the same thing to Baker. Actually, he took a couple of unnecessary sacks where I'm like, guy, just get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Why did these QBs who are
Point is, Tampa Bay showed up. The Eagles didn't. Nick Sirianni's now in the hot seat, and Todd Bowles may have saved his job. That was a guy who was like, dude, just get him the fuck out of Tampa. He sucks. But he may have saved his job. Who knows?
And honestly, I was very impressed with the old Buccaneros over there.
Yep. So here's how things currently stand. Next week, you got the Ravens versus the Texans. You got in Baltimore. You got the Packers versus the 49ers, the Buccaneers versus the Lions, and the Chiefs versus the Bills. So interesting matchups. Let's break it down. Just so you guys know, who has who. I think we're up against each other for every single one for our league. So Eric and me did a snake draft on teams. We're tied right now. So right now I have the Texans, the 49ers.
Actually, all of the games we are head to head.
Yeah. And so these games count 2 points, the divisional round. So I have the Texans, the 49ers, the Lions, and the Bills. So I feel like I'm in a better position than Eric. Eric has the Ravens. That's probably the scariest one. That's the one that's going to keep you alive, probably, unless my Texans show up. The Buccaneers, the Packers, and the Chiefs. So let's get started.
Also,
again, that's just, from the draft. Let's give our thoughts on the game before we talk about, the coaching tracker.
Also, something that's really enjoyable about at least the NFC side of things.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback in the Super Bowl is either going to be Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, or Jordan Love.
I would not have put money on that.
No, I would not have.
Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield have phenomenal stories. Detroit in general has a phenomenal story. Baker himself has a great story. Purdy has a phenomenal, Mr. Irrelevant, and Jordan Love, the guy following up Aaron Rodgers, who everybody thought was dead at the first 5 weeks of the season. So
all of them are lovable contenders.
Yeah, it's
on
great
the
storylines.
other side, we have Mahomes still alive, and nobody wants that.
It's really funny. It's really funny. Compare the QBs: Lamar, C.J. Stroud, Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yeah. Literally just one QB that would not be interesting to watch in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I got him. So.
You think Lamar's not interesting?
No, that's why I said only one of them.
Mahomes.
Only one of the quarterbacks who was still alive. It would not be interesting to watch.
There's only one scenario where I'm okay with the freaking Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl. And that's if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl. So it's Taylor Swift versus Eminem. That's the only scenario where I'm okay with the Chiefs making it there. Otherwise, get them out of there.
Yeah,
Buffalo Bills, do something for me.
Yeah, also, Mahomes is the only quarterback there who has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's even more boring. So
yeah, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Let's see.
What I hope happens is the Ravens win, and then the Bills win, and then the Ravens beat the Bills.
Let's see. Chuck Dominguez conspiracy. First off, Chuck Dominguez late to the party. What's up, guys? Conspiracy has it that the last couple years, the theme colors for the Super Bowl are the colors of teams that are going to the Super Bowl. Right now, it's purple and red. So Ravens and 49ers?
Could be Niners, could
Chiefs.
be Bucks.
Ravens and Chiefs. Chuck, they're both in the AFC. So I think it'd be Ravens and 49ers or Ravens and Bucks. So.
Yeah. I've seen that comparison too, and I think some of the colors don't really match up that well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of teams have the same colors, so the chances that they're gonna be is actually pretty high.
By the way, before we get into this, I had a few people send me messages saying that they want to be in the league. So as of right now, maybe I'm missing a few. I need to check the comments on the other video. So here you go. For the people who enter, by the way, it's just picking which team you think is going to win. David Martinez, you had a rough week. You only got 2. Mora, you only got 1.
To be fair, David, you did pick the Steelers. What's up with that one, man?
You can still make it back. And Gus Becerra, you're on a hot streak.
And he's
4.
got the tiebreaker.
You got 4. So congratulations to you so far. It looks like it's, as of right now, it's yours to lose, but we'll see. Let's continue with our picks. We got the Ravens hosting the Texans.
Yeah.
All right. 2 weeks without playing for Lamar Jackson. 2 weeks.
Didn't he play the first half of the last game?
He played like a quarter or something.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like a drive or something.
And the Texans are hot.
Yeah.
They're hotter than my TV.
But here's the kicker. It looks like Mark Andrews is back in the mix.
Fuck,
and
really?
The Ravens signed somebody who you may have heard of, Mr. Dalvin Cook.
How about them
so
Ravens?
The best team in the NFL kind of got a couple of upgrades. And
they're going all in,
One of the top 3 tight ends in the league is coming back. One of the best running backs in the league coming back. Well, he used to be.
They're pulling a Rams when they went for Odell.
I guess. Odell's in there, too. So
oh, yeah.
The Ravens are stacked. I want the Texans to win really badly because they're my playoff team. I don't see them surviving the Ravens. To me, the Texans, it's already a victory. I expected them to still kind of suck, but they made it to the playoffs. And not only made it to the playoffs, they embarrassed one of the best teams in the league, the number 1 defense in the league. So that's already a victory. I just don't see them surviving the Ravens. Even if Lamar has a trouble game, beating that defense is rough. So I'm picking the Ravens on this one, unfortunately, but I'd be super happy if the Texans make it.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't want to. Well, you never know.
Oh, Gus Becerra says that the regular season was his to lose as well. It's
And-
true,
and
but
yeah.
the advantage here is that it's fewer games.
And also, you weren't going up against me. Is there gonna be questions on Harbaugh if
no,
they get blown out by the Texans?
No. Harbaugh has won before, and he won with Joe Flacco. So I think it's the majority of it's gonna fall on Lamar, because Lamar has that knock on him that he can't win in the playoffs.
Which he already has, but
Harbaugh's proven that he's been there before, he's won it before, so he has that advantage.
I guess, but
It's all falling.
well, I mean,
on
first
Lamar.
off, they just paid Lamar, so they're not getting rid of him.
I'm not saying to get rid of him, but I'm saying who's taking the blame.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how they lose. Like, if it's a close game, I think it's fine. I think you can chalk it up to, hey, Texans are a good team. Ravens are a good team. Maybe the bye week hurt them a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, Mark Andrews is going to be a little, he's going to be a little rusty. You never know.
The dude who took up his place likely was really good. So they have a really good, they have an elite number 1, a really good number 2 in tight end. And they have Odell Beckham. They have freaking Isaiah Flowers. They have Dalvin Cook now. The Gus Bus.
Oh, they got a squad. They got a squad. And
that's just offense. Defense, they have a bunch of killers.
On paper, they should be able to win this pretty handily.
Mm-hmm.
But I said the same thing about the Browns last week. Maybe the Texans are just a fucking buzzsaw. Maybe CJ Stroud is just the truth.
So here's the thing again. CJ Stroud, ice in his veins. Dude's a killer. The moment was not too big for him. I think it's been more than proven. So now it's up to Lamar. Lamar still has to prove that. And so he's up against an inferior opponent. He should be able to take him down pretty easily. I think it's all going to fall on Lamar.
I agree, but I think I trust them enough. They're going to be at home. They've been goddamn. They've had time to prepare. They're pretty much at full power, right?
Yeah.
I think this should be a hand. I think it'll be a good game, but I think it'll be a pretty handily managed victory for the Ravens.
Yep. Next game, the other Saturday game, is the number 1 49ers against the elite Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I don't think so. Listen, the 49ers, their biggest problem is that they play too hard. Well, now they're rested. So after the bye week, the 49ers went through a rough patch because I think they were tired and they played really good teams. They lost 3 games in a row. After that bye week, they were deadly again. So this is a well-rested 49ers team. The only time that they stumbled was against the Ravens. So, again, the defense for the Packers played really good, but they weren't up against Christian McCaffrey. They weren't up against freaking George Kittle. They weren't up against freaking Ayuk.
Well, no, but I mean, the Cowboys' offense was one of the top offenses, elite.
Sure. I think high scoring. I think it was the highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah, but again, it could be just one of those things that the Cowboys just didn't fucking show up.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Packers are just that good. That's the problem. We don't know if it was more that the Cowboys just stunk it up because, it's that time of year. Or maybe the Packers just decided that they're the truth.
Rockley says, buenas noches, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up? I don't know. Point is, I'm a lot more excited about this game than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm going with the Niners here.
Yeah.
Still, they're a powerful squad. But there is the question mark. How does Purdy do?
Purdy made it to the freaking NFC Championship game. I don't have doubts on Purdy. At least not right now.
But didn't he win against the Cowboys?
What?
He made it there because he beat the Cowboys, right?
No, I think the Cowboys. Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's when Dak couldn't do they ran out of time.
Suckers. No, that was Garoppolo.
No.
Yep.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Nope, that was Garoppolo. Because I remember I was hiking for that one. and it wasn't last year.
Let's
Let's see, NFL playoffs.
2022.
It was 2023.
Well, but I think it's gonna give you this year.
That's 2024. Damn it!
Told you.
What that happened?
Why? Well, because you clicked the wrong button.
Oh,
Fool.
of course. Let me see. 2020. All right, 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
By the way, who do you think is more likely to lose? 49ers or Ravens?
Ooh.
49ers.
I think Ravens just because tougher competition probably.
Really? Okay. So you think the Texans are more legit?
I saw that game.
All right. Wild card round. Seahawks. So they were up against the Seahawks. Divisional round against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So a couple of wins here.
Yeah. And Seahawks divisional rival. Tough one. Anyway, point is, so you think the Ravens have a tougher road?
I think so. Plus, who was on the other side? Well, the Lions and the Bucks.
No, I mean between the number 1 seeds.
Oh, for this one, I think the Ravens have a more difficult.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they have a tougher matchup.
I agree. Next, we got on the Sunday game, we have the Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Eric, who do you like?
I like both of these teams, man. I'm so happy.
You know, I'm happy about one thing. I finally figured out something that's been bothering me forever. Every single time I look at Dan Campbell, he reminds me of somebody, and I couldn't figure it out until this weekend. I was watching the game, and he did something. I was like, that's fucking Mick Foley. Like, if you tell me that Dan Campbell is Mick Foley's son, I'd be like, yes, of course he is. Of course he is. They look exactly alike.
And they always seem like they're on the verge of crying.
Yeah, the only difference is that Dan Campbell has all his teeth, and he's crazier. That's the only difference between the two. So, there you go.
I've seen Mick Foley jump off some crazy shit, but fair enough.
All right, so this one, I'm Lions all the way, man. Lions all the way. One of my best friends, he's a fan of the Lions. He was going nuts with this game. So just for that, no other reason. Like I like the Baker story, I like the Goff story, I like all that stuff. But the Lions, I've been rooting for them for the past couple of years. Ever since MCDC started there, and I was like, even a couple of victories this season is a victory. Them making to the playoffs finally, making to the divisional rounds, good on them.
Yeah, I think both of these teams.
Although they did play very dirty last weekend, so
that's actually scary for the Bucks.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the Lions were hungry. They're hungry.
Where are they playing? Actually,
they're playing in Detroit.
In Detroit, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I like Baker Mayfield. I feel bad for him. I feel like he's gotten a bad rep just because he's had like 6 freaking head coaches in his time in the NFL or something crazy.
Rumor has it Goff is getting a statue.
Well, he did win him like their first game in like 30 years in the playoffs, something like that. So I don't know. I think I'll go with the Lions here.
I saw a crazy stat that I think the in the past, like I don't know, decade or something, Baker Mayfield has 3 victories in the playoffs. The Browns have 1. I don't know, the Browns have 2, and one of those was with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So he's a great story. But I think the Lions in general are a more fun story. So.
And I think they're just overall stronger.
Yeah. Finally, the last game of the weekend.
Jesus fucking Christ, Bills. Fucking get rid of the Chiefs.
The Buffalo Bills against the hated Kansas City Chiefs. If they can't do it this year, at home, they need to fire their freaking head coach. Like, again, I was never really comfortable with the Bills winning this game because their defense sucked. And this is supposed to be a defensive head coach. Now, I get it. They did have a ton of injuries. But come on. You have a very weak Chiefs team. You're at home. This is the first time I think that the Chiefs had not played in Arrowhead in a decade in the playoffs. If you don't beat them here, you're never going to beat them. Probably ever. So I'm rooting for the Bills. I picked the Bills. I hope the Bills win. But I'm also ready to be disappointed.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they can do it.
Really?
I think they're going to... Dude.
It's the Bills.
The Chiefs had like 6 fucking seconds to score points against the Bills in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
And they... All right. So they just went a couple of times in the middle of the field to
Travis Kelce.
and completely open Travis Kelce and got to field goal range and hit a field goal and beat him.
All right.
The Bills are fucking morons when it comes to the Chiefs. That's what it is. They're fucking morons. They beat themselves.
They
They
do
stopped
have their
playing in the way that made them win, the way made them successful. They're gonna fuck up
On that,
because they're the Bills, and that's what they do.
on that note, the Bills have been running the ball more, so it's not all on Josh
They're gonna
Allen.
stop. They're gonna stop. They're gonna stop doing it. I'm telling you, they're gonna fuck up.
All right, he said it right here, folks. It's on tape. Eric's picking the Chiefs because the Bills are fucking morons.
Also, I don't have anything to lose here because if I'm wrong, the Chiefs lose. So I win either way.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Those are our picks for this weekend. Now we move on to the coaching tracker just to update you on the situation. As we mentioned,
The most interesting off-season
head coaching
free agency
ever, yeah. Because you have the greatest head coach of all time that got fired from the New England Patriots after being there almost my entire lifetime. Where does he go? I think this is probably the most important domino. I don't think he's a great fit everywhere. For example, I don't think he wants to come to LA. I don't think he wants to be a West Coast guy. There's a few openings right now, but right now, again, this pool is very interesting because Bill Belichick's in it. Other names that are interesting: Pete Carroll, Super Bowl winning Pete Carroll,
Bubblegum destroyer Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel's officially fired.
The Titans are fucking morons.
Oh, yes, they are. And you got Frank Reich, Josh McDaniels, which I've heard that Bill Belichick, wherever he goes, he wants to bring Josh McDaniels with him, who he's had a lot of success with. Brandon Staley will never see in the NFL again. I can almost guarantee it. The dude from the Falcons,
he can go to the Panthers.
The dude from the Falcons, I don't think he's going to be a head coach again. And Ron Rivera, I doubt that we'll see him as a head coach again. It's going to be very difficult. He's failed, with the Panthers? He's failed with the Commanders. And I feel like he's failed somewhere else. So I don't think we'll see it. Now,
Who was the coach before Shanahan?
Shanahan, the 49ers?
Like right
you
after
mean Jim Harbaugh?
No, when Shanahan hasn't. Jim Harbaugh retired after the Super Bowl, but that was like freaking
Let me see.
2010 or 2011.
No, it was one season afterwards. Let me see. Bill Walsh. Let me see.
Because I don't think Shanahan's been there that long. Harbaugh's been gone for a cool minute.
Let me see.
Because it was a Harbaugh.
Man, where did those stuff? Chip Kelly.
And
so it was Jim Harbaugh, Jim Tunzula, Chip Kelly, and Kyle Shanahan. So there you go. Kyle Shanahan's been there since 2017. Man, time flies. Anyway,
I would say his job is pretty safe right now.
Other people who are in the hot seat as of right now: Mike McCarthy, Nick Sirianni, and Mike Tomlin. Out of these three, I would not fire Mike Tomlin. I think the Steelers would be very stupid to do so. Sirianni, dude,
you give him a season. I think you can give him a season. I think
Mike Tomlin.
No, I think you give Sirianni a season,
dude. Philadelphia is not a patient team and/or city.
Yeah, they're terrible people. But
yeah, they fired Doug Peterson after he won a Super Bowl, like 2 seasons afterward. And the Cowboys.
I didn't accuse him of being smart.
All right, fair enough. So, I think the hottest seat of them all is McCarthy's by far. And if the Cowboys fire McCarthy, I think that's the most attractive job. I agree with you. I think Sirianni survives this one, and Tomlin survives this one. But yeah, that's immediately the hottest seat in the NFL. So if Mike McCarthy gets fired, I think Mr. Bill Belichick and Mr. Josh McDaniels will go there because that is a very sexy job.
And that is a scary fucking prospect for all NFL fans.
Yeah, they'll never shut up about him. Never. Let me see. Let's be honest. Eric secretly is a Swiftie. Oh, there you go. So,
yeah, I love DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, teams that currently are in the market for a head coach are the Chargers, the Washington Commanders, the Raiders, the Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons. The Patriots were there for half a second, not anymore.
About a day.
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans and the Carolina Panthers.
Also, good on Bill for actually, on Belichick for being part of, the succession process.
Yeah.
He didn't leave him hanging completely.
So the Patriots, already have their head coach. His name is Jared Mayo. He was the linebackers coach. And honestly, this is really bizarre.
I think they've been grooming him.
I
for
think
it, right?
this is a really odd pick. And listen, he may end up being a great head coach, but right now it feels kind of like he's a sacrificial lamb. Why? Because the Patriots, they're not built to win right now. So it's going to be a few rough seasons probably. Second, and this is the reason why I really don't understand hiring Jared Mayo. Again, he has really I don't know anything about him. The Patriots don't really let their coordinators or their other coaches talk to the media. But this dude played with the Patriots. He coached with the Patriots. So he's 100% from the Belichick tree. You had Bill Belichick there. Why would you settle for somebody who is not Bill Belichick, but from the Bill Belichick tree if Bill Belichick is not retiring? It's very bizarre. So again, it kind of feels like he's a sacrificial lamb. And again, he might be great. I don't know him. But conspiracy-wise, if you want to get conspiratorial with it, it's like, here's the headline for him. And I think it's not an official signing yet, but here's the headline for him. This Jared Mayo hired as the first African-American head coach for the Patriots. So it kind of feels like to me that the Patriots just got him so they could be like, oh, see, we also had an African-American head coach. It just, we did, and we groomed him or whatever.
Well, you do have the Rooney Rule thing, right?
Well, they still have to interview people. I know. I think the Patriots don't have to interview anybody because he was already under contract.
Yeah, it was already in his contract that he was going to be the next guy. That's why I think they didn't go with Mike Vrabel.
I don't know.
Also, I don't think they would have ever expected Mike Vrabel to be fired because they wouldn't think the Titans were that big of morons.
Again, it's a conspiracy theory. It's a very dick thing to say about the Patriots organization. It just feels odd. Why get your linebackers coach? Why wasn't that guy your defensive coordinator if he was that good? I don't get it. But again, he was in the building. They know him. They probably and they thought he was good enough to replace Bill Belichick. So when Bill Belichick still wants to coach, so we'll see. We'll see. But right now, it feels like he's kind of a sacrificial lamb, and it sucks.
Well, that and clearly it seemed like Bill wasn't interested in staying in New England anyways. So he wants to be a coach, but he doesn't want to be a coach here. So might as well get somebody that he trusts from his tree.
Maybe. But anyway, right now,
they got a few rebuilding seasons to go. They're gonna have a rough patch.
Yeah, the jobs that are available, I kind of rank them in a way. So we got the Chargers, the Commanders, the Raiders, the Seahawks, Falcons, Titans, and Panthers. You do not want to go to the Panthers. Tennessee Titans are also a mess. Again, they got rid of Mike Vrabel.
They got
morons.
Maybe the worst GM in the league.
The Falcons, apparently, Bill Belichick has had conversations with them, and the Washington Commanders have been mentioned to be linked to Bill Belichick and are interested in him. So we'll see. They have new owners. They're really hungry.
They don't have quarterbacks though.
That's the problem. But again, they have the number one pick in the draft. So
I think Raiders are not too far off, but they got just way too big a contract to pay a freaking Gruden still.
And the Raiders kind of have their guy already. I mean, it's really weird because Anthony Pearson, the players love him. I think Crosby said that if it's not him, he was going to request a trade or something. So the players love him, and your best defensive player loves him. The Raiders, however, can't hire him yet.
Yeah, because they got to interview a couple of minorities.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's really because of the Rooney Rule, and they can't interview anybody in person until after the divisional round or something.
Honestly,
it's really dumb.
if I was the organization, I would just get a couple of janitors and be like, all right, we're interviewing these guys. There. I satisfied the rule. It's a stupid fucking rule.
No. You're not thinking big picture. What you want to do right now is you kind of want to screw your competition. So I guarantee you the Raiders are like, oh, the Chargers, they're interviewing Jim Harbaugh. Let's interview him. So the Chargers
the price goes up. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's the game that they're playing. I think they're going to stick with Pierce.
And not just that. You think Harbaugh's not doing that because he knows?
Oh, of course.
You think he doesn't know he's like, out of all the coaches available, Harbaugh might be the hottest one, right?
All right, so let's talk about that real quick. So if I have to pick, I've been saying it for years now. Years. The Chargers need to hire Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, and so far it sounds like they've been playing footsie under the table again.
They interviewed.
There's a comment here, but somebody tell me, tell me how the Chargers interview Jim Harbaugh and let him walk out of the building without a contract. They can't sign him yet. There's a window that you need to interview a certain amount of people. They can't sign him yet. I think Jim Harbaugh wants to go to the Chargers. That's what everybody's been saying.
Apparently, he loves Herbert.
There's a couple of options there,
which is understandable.
That can scare him off, or that could persuade him. And let's look at here. Like I said, the Raiders may want to take him because if you're the Raiders, do you want to be in a division with Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and freaking Andy Reid?
That's rough.
Yeah, that's a rough division to be on. Especially, but the counter is that you have a head coach who beat two of those already. So Pierce beat the Broncos and the
Chargers.
and the Chiefs.
And he murdered the Chargers.
Yeah, but I mean, but Brandon Staley.
Oh yeah, okay. You mean the coaches? Yeah.
So you could have that argument there. The real contender here, I think, is the Commanders, and the big thing, unless the Cowboys are on the board. If the Cowboys are on the board,
they automatically jump to number one.
Jump to number one because they have the most money. It's the biggest franchise, and also taxes. So taxes in Texas way better than taxes in California where the Chargers are.
Also, Jerry Jones has deep pockets compared to Dean Spanos.
So if you're the Chargers, you need to pay him more money than the Cowboys would just to keep up with what the Cowboys are paying him. Because again, he's going to lose a lot of money on taxes. But on the other hand, you would not have your owner talking about shit about you on the radio. So, there's pros and cons. Anyway,
I think Jim Harbaugh would play ball.
The thing for the Commanders, this is the most appealing argument for the Commanders. They got new owners. They're willing to spend money. They want to win. They don't have a quarterback yet, but he's going to have this pick of the litter and a pretty good quarterback draft. The biggest argument for Washington is that it's across the river from Baltimore, where his brother lives. So his entire family would be in the area. And, that's kind of an important thing. That's something that people take into consideration. Your kids will be able to play with their cousins. Your parents will be able to visit both of you. You'll be able to meet up on weekends to have dinner and stuff. So that's a big thing to take into consideration.
I feel like they're one of those, like, siblings that, like, they obviously, I think they love each other and, have a bunch of respect. But it won't be more than 5 minutes after they see each other that they'll start yelling about something.
Probably.
It feels like they're just that kind of explosive duo where it's like, fuck you, you overcooked the chicken. Jim, you fucking moron. This is why you lost the Super Bowl.
I was hearing a story about somebody saying that, when's the last time that you and your brother fought? He's like, no, we're at the beach and I started wrestling with him. As grown men, in their 60s. And I was like, I don't remember the last time I've touched you.
Yeah. And we sit right next to each other.
It's weird, dude. Don't even look at me. Don't breathe the same air. It's weird. But, all right, if it's not Jim Harbaugh, to me, Jim Harbaugh is my clear number one. I've been screaming it to the heavens for years now, but if it's not Jim Harbaugh...
And the only thing he's got left is a Super Bowl.
Yeah. The other people who were in consideration were Bill Belichick,
get that Dan Quinn out of my fucking screen.
Mike Vrabel, and what's the name for Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. After this weekend, I think Dan Quinn is more than eliminated from that conversation. Dan Quinn, the defense for the Cowboys, which just got embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. No, thank you. Nah, get out of here.
I could see the Chargers hiring Mike McCarthy.
So if it's between Belichick, Vrabel, and Ben Johnson, listen, Ben Johnson coached a great game. The scheme, everything was great. The Lions looked really good. In the second half, not so much. The Rams started to stop him. But
it was a good game. It was a very tight game between two very good teams.
He could be an interesting prospect. To me, the thing is, the Chargers need a culture changer. And so the culture in the Lions is freaking MCDC all the way. He's the guy. He sets the tone. He sets everything. He gets the players motivated. Ben Johnson might be a brain. I don't want a guy who's just a brain anymore. I want somebody who's going to come in and kick their asses, change the culture. And so that's why I'm skeptical about Ben Johnson. He might be great. He might be the guy. I don't want to take a risk on him.
Yeah, he even kind of looks like Brandon Staley.
Yeah. I want a proven commodity, somebody who's been there before and been successful before. So the only real options other than Harbaugh to me, Bill Belichick and Mike Bravel. Again, as of right now. If Tomlin is out there, Tomlin is definitely in that conversation.
That's the nice thing where it's like, okay, the Cowboys are almost definitely going to be at the top of the conversation now. Mm-hmm. And I would put good money that Mike McCarthy doesn't have a job very soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're going to be the hottest team to want to coach for. But there's not a lot of bad options, man. There's a lot of really, really fucking good coaches that are going to be available.
We're not even going to the coordinators.
Yeah.
Again, this is I'm picking the elite guys.
Yeah, where
right?
it's like, all right, if we don't get Harbaugh, we might get Bill Belichick or Mike Bravel or Mike Tomlin.
Bill Belichick, again, the greatest head coach of all time. I don't think he's the best fit, but I would not complain if they got Bill Belichick. Again, I would prefer Harbaugh, but it's like what you wanted to I don't know. I can't even compare it. I was gonna do a dessert thing, but nothing compares to this.
Yeah, that analogy doesn't work.
No, it was like
that totally killed our momentum.
I know.
Too.
Anyway,
this is so embarrassing.
Yeah, I was like, because I wanted to do an example, but they don't know what desserts I like.
No. It's like, what are you doing?
I was like, I wanted chocolate cake, but I got flan. It's like, well, I mean, they don't know how much I love flan.
I love flan. Yeah, exactly. I think I'd rather have a flan than chocolate cake.
See, you would have gotten the analogy, but they don't know that. They don't know that about me.
Maybe they don't even know what flan is.
You know what? We got choco flan. So it's like,
the best of both worlds.
Exactly. But they don't know that.
That was terrible.
You know, most of these people, they don't even know what flan is.
That was terrible, and you should feel terrible about it.
Yeah, whatever. The point is, I would not hate it. Mike Bravel is not a proven guy. He doesn't have a championship yet. However, the things that he managed to do with the Titans, with ownership that sucked, with a team that sucked, is phenomenal. And I've heard stories about the guy. He is a
team
culture
that
changer.
Traded one of their best fucking weapons, and AJ Brown.
This dude, he's a big dude, so he actually scares his players, which is a good thing. And there's a quote from Mike Bravel that I'm like, all right, that's the guy. And he said, I'll chop my dick off to win a Super Bowl. And I'm like, that's the guy.
I love it.
He'll get everything. Nothing is more important to him than winning a Super Bowl. So that's the kind of the mentality that I want. Bill could still kind of come here and be like, I already have a bunch of rings. Sure. But no, Vrabel's hungry. So I want Bravel and Harbaugh because they're hungry for it. They've proven that they're successful. They've proven that they can go deep in the playoffs.
And Harbaugh was right there, man.
Yeah. So they're hungrier. That's the one thing that I'm like, they have above Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is playing for legacy and for honor and all that stuff. And maybe spite, which spite's a powerful thing. But chopping your own dick off for a freaking Super Bowl ring is, I'd say, more of a commitment. So,
also, not to mention, in paper, they will be coming into a difficult division, right?
On paper. But, I mean, the Broncos stunk all season. They got better. The Raiders stunk most of the season. They got better. The Chargers stunk all season. They didn't get better. So,
you still got to deal with the Chiefs.
Yeah. Who got worse. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's not a bad job. It's not a bad job.
Just get Dan Quinn out of there.
The only issue is that it's California. But, by the way, I'm going to give you some good news, Charger fans. You know? I don't know. Should I put a Chargers logo? Something with a Chargers logo up there. Anyway, I'm going to give you good news. California is stupid.
That's great news.
California is the dumbest fucking state in the union. And so taxes are going up.
That actually, by IQ, it's actually true. California has one of the lowest IQs.
Of course. I'm not surprised. Do I look surprised? I'm not surprised.
Well, you should be surprised, but then again, you probably have a low IQ.
So, California, again, dumbest freaking state in the union. Taxes going up, and I think they want to implement a wealth tax. So if you have over, I think, $50 million, they'll take 1% of your net wealth or whatever, which again, it's very difficult to hire. It's going to make a lot of businesses leave and all that stuff. Now imagine you're the Spanoses and you have a $2 billion business here. So the government's going to start taxing you, taking 1% of that $2 billion business. They're not the richest owners in the NFL.
No.
And so they already have to pay the fees for moving from San Diego to LA. They need to pay their players. They're going to have to pay a head coach. They're going to have to start losing 1% of the... This is not money that's liquid, all right? It's money that's, the net worth of the team. It's possible that we end up in a situation because of this, because of California sucking so badly, that the Spanoses may have to sell the team simply for financial reasons. That's the one silver lining here. The problem is that, again, you want to bring players here, it's going to cost you more money. You want to bring a head coach here, it's going to cost you more money while you're bleeding money every year, 1% of your net worth. And again, you're going to have to make it liquid somehow. Now, the NFL does give them like $500 million. So, I'm not crying a river over it, but they got to pay staff. They got to pay for, marketing. They got to pay players, play head coaches, pay themselves, and pay the moving fees. This could end up being a good thing for the franchise. Somebody buys them out. They move the team out of LA. So we'll see.
Where would they move it?
Honestly, if I'm that, all right, what city? All right, that's a fun question.
No, because the thing there would be, well, wouldn't you want to move it out of California?
Of course. I wouldn't move back to San Diego. No way. You want to get the fuck out of Dodge. So,
another Nevada team?
No, they already have Las Vegas. You can't compete with that. I've heard good things about South Carolina. South Carolina doesn't have a team.
But would they have to be the South Carolina?
You can just call it the city.
The Raleigh? No, Raleigh is in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Charlottesville?
Yeah. Charlottesville Chargers.
The Cha-Chas.
There you go, the Chi-Chis.
The Cha-Cha.
The
Let's go.
Chi-Chis.
Let's go with the Cha-Chas.
Yeah. Florida, Orlando.
Orlando.
But there's already too many teams in Florida. You got the Miami Dolphins. You got the Tampa Bay Bucks. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I don't blame them. It's nice.
You don't want to go to New York. You don't want to go to New York. Stupid.
Texas. It's something weird like Wyoming.
New Mexico doesn't have any teams. But
What was the last time you thought of Wyoming?
Never. I've never thought of Wyoming once in my life. Idaho. Maybe Idaho. I don't know.
Idaho Chargers.
Let's just make a list of the biggest cities in the U.S.
Well, we don't want Chicago.
I said the cities.
Chicago is like the third biggest city.
No. That's like a war zone. So
That's
you
what I'm
got,
saying.
all right, I'm going to go. Chicago, Houston, San Antonio?
San Antonio.
San Jose, Fort
Supercharged.
Worth, Seattle, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Austin, San Diego, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Charlotte, San Francisco, Columbus. Charlotte, meh.
The Cha-Chas.
Yeah. Where's
It's
Charlotte?
funny that San Francisco doesn't actually have a team.
Where is Charlotte? Is it North Carolina?
I don't know.
I think it is. Why doesn't it say the state?
I don't know, because you're bad at Googling.
Probably.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm embarrassing myself, clearly.
Jesus Christ, man.
Second time today.
What is wrong with you? Frisco? What the hell is a Frisco?
I don't know. Okay, so by
North
order.
Carolina. Charlotte.
Yeah. All right, so Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, to be fair, who gives a fuck about South Carolina, right?
Denver, Oklahoma. Why not? You know what? Go to Kansas. That way you can take the whole Kansas thing away from the Chiefs.
That'd be funny.
That'd be hysterical, honestly. Boston doesn't really have a team. I mean, I know it's the Patriots, but take it from the whole Boston thing. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is not bad.
Memphis Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Milwaukee, Albuquerque, Tucson.
Oakland.
Yeah, Colorado Springs, Omaha.
Arlington,
Dude,
Texas.
Virginia Beach. Go to Virginia. Yeah,
I don't even know where that is.
Virginia.
Oh, okay.
What?
No, it's right there.
Arlington. So there's a bunch of good options. There's a bunch of good options. But point is, if you want to see one silver lining, maybe there you go. So there you go. Those were our picks, and we're gonna stop right there, honestly, because I'm tired. But there you go. Our picks. That's the current state of the coaching situation in the NFL right now. So far, let me just double check. I didn't get any notifications that McCarthy, Tomlin, or Sirianni have been fired. So there you go. Eric, is there anything you want to add?
Let me see. I was doing some McCarthy watch here. We're all on McCarthy watch.
Yeah.
McCarthy job. Speaker of the House. Who gives a fuck about that?
Did he get outed
I
and
don't.
retired?
I don't care. I care about football.
Okay, fair enough.
Nope.
Yeah, Speaker of the House.
McCarthy meeting with Jerry Jones, quote unquote, like a job interview.
Okay, not good news. So there you go. As always, like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. All that good stuff really helps me out. Comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at DarioSDW and at Super Dario World. David, Gus, and Mora, send me your picks. Again, Gus has a big advantage, so you kind of need to make some moves here. Eric, anything you want to shout out?
Shout out to everyone, man.
Fair
I
enough.
love this thing. I
All
love
right.
the football.
As always,
It's
thank
a
you for
good
joining
time.
us, and we'll see you again next time.